Sitting in the frying pan, killing with a tin can. Who can? I can. Nobody else can. Spitting in a frying pan, killing with a tin can. Who can? I can. Nobody else can. Oh. In 1861, I continued in the South the socialist war lost in 1848 in Europe. I made their war my war. In 1865, I won it because I placed thousands of European socialist Illuminati revolutionaries in with my U.S. soldiers. They came here carrying the Communist Manifesto in their pockets or in their minds, more foreigners than in any army in history. To punish the South, I declared Southerners rebels for trying to secede. I let my soldiers burn, rob, rape, and torture them and their kinfolks. Had we lost the war, my generals, my Congress, and I would have been found guilty and executed for war crimes against humanity. Did you know all my radical Republicans grew to hate me? Oddly, once I was executed, most of them, including the New England Christian preachers and the Unitarians, suddenly worshiped me. Christians forgot I swore in the Trinity and the Holy Bible and love the occult, love those seances, even those my wife held. And I became their martyr. Those socialists and communists loved me. So did Lenin, Hitler, Stalin, and Francis Bellamy.
In my first inaugural speech, I warned the Southerners. I told them I'd kill them, but only for my tariff, not to keep slaves. I fixed it where Southerners could hold slaves forever, if only they would pay my tariff, my moral tariff, and ratify my Corn Amendment. At any time they could accept my tariff and amendment and end the war, but they didn't. They said the war was not about slavery. Only 2 southern states seceded because of slavery. They said that was worth seceding for, but not worth dying for. The prevention of starvation and poverty was, freedom was. They claimed they could not live under a government that redefined words and the Constitution.
My Emancipation Proclamation did not free slaves. It wasn't meant to. It was to stop England and France from helping the South. It did that. It was to make slaves massacre women and kids, Southern men desert battlefields and go home. Bet you didn't know I sent thousands of free Negroes to Africa. Planned to get rid of all American Negroes. In the last days of my life, I conferred with General Beast Butler. Ha ha ha! About sending all Negroes to live in Panama and dig me a canal.
In 1861, civilian Gustavus Vasta Fox helped me connive an amazing event. We snookered South Carolina into firing the first shot in my war. Nearly all my cabinet members insisted I not make a war, that I pull troops out of Sumter. My Republican radicals insisted I send troops in to Sumter. So that's what I did. I waited till Congress was at recess, and then I usurped. Did what only Congress can do. Declared war on the South. I gave Carolina's Governor Francis Pickens my promise to withdraw. But I sent in 3 ships with hundreds of hidden soldiers. That didn't get me back my island fort, but it did something better. It made South Carolina fire on my American flag.
Better save one.
To eliminate Southern culture, my Republicans and I created an enormous destruction of life. We committed genocide of life and created the first Holocaust in the modern world.
Boo!
And then nearly all the communists advocated, I stirred racial hate and proletariats, especially the Negro ones, and I functionally replaced the U.S. Constitution with the Communist Manifesto. The seeds I planted eventually got every one of the Manifesto's 10 Commandments into U.S. law, some even into the Constitution. I love Marxist progressive communist income tax. I was the first president to have an income tax and an IRS. I began erasing inheritance rights. Couldn't get me a federal bank, but I redistributed rebels' wealth. Not just money, but everything, including land. I confiscated the very dirt under little farmhouses and gave it to my soldiers, my carpetbaggers, and the Negroes. I fixed it some southern forests sold for 25 cents an acre to Republicans. I made radical Republican Senator John Sherman and his financially strapped brother, William Tecumseh Sherman, very rich. I seized control of transportation, communication, and education. Gave my Yankees ownership of every southern factory, every railroad, every business, every newspaper, and every school in existence about to be. My government controlled education, began brainwashing to make good Republicans and socialists of kids. I dumbed them down, turned their interest from physical freedom to sexual freedom. My propaganda almost destroyed belief in God and Jesus, respect for marriage and family, all that honor thy father and mother stuff. I made the Constitution a living thing, tore holes in love for home states and the Bill of Rights protection of people from government.
At the point of bloody bayonets, I forced my ironclad oath on those who believed I hated the Constitution, who thought states have sovereignty and can secede. I killed thousands of Southerners and Northern Copperheads for refusing to take my oath. During Reconstruction, that dozen years of martial law, 15 years in Louisiana, Southerners who wanted paid jobs, wanted their families to eat, had to take my oath. No rebel soldiers could, though. In the year 1892, that defrocked for socialism Baptist preacher Francis Bellamy learned my oath. He adored me and my all-powerful central government, so he modeled a new oath after mine. He called his oath the Pledge of Allegiance. And no, he didn't put God in it. Eisenhower did that. Bellamy upheld my convictions. Every state is indivisible, cannot secede. is forever in my union. Divorce not allowed in this marriage. Secession is treason. The Union created every state. State constitutions declaring state sovereignty, written before the Constitution, aren't worth the paper they were written on.